I'm almost 100% positive your relationship with God is suffering because of this one thing. One thing we have to remember about God is that he's a person and not a theory. Yes, there are things we can point to that prove him. There is evidence for all the things that he claims, all the things that the Bible claims to be true about God. We can see in actuality, whether through archaeological, historical, or philosophical endeavor, that they are true. And that's all good and well. It's good to have proof of these things. It's good to have evidence. But the act of faith is actually an act of love and relationship, because without it you might have all the evidence, all the proof, but you're not going to have a saving faith, a saving belief. You're just going to consider it like a brute fact, like a theory, like a formula, like kind of what math is. Math is true, it's verifiable, but I don't trust it to save my life. I don't walk hand in hand with mathematics. But the truth about God and the truth about the gospel that we find in the Bible, just the way Jesus talked and the kingdom that he describes, shows us that because God is real, that calls us to action, and that action is loving relationship between a father and his child. A relationship between husband and wife, let's talk about the trust they might have for one another. It's not based upon data. Yes, you may look and go, okay, she's never cheated on me. She does this quite consistently. I have good evidence. But the truth is, it can never be based off of that actual evidence. It has to be an outpouring of love that comes unconditionally. And that's the same as your relationship between you and God. You can't treat God like a theorem. You must treat him like a person. And with a personal being, you enter into loving relationship. After all, Jesus urges us to worship in spirit and in truth, not in formula and in calculation. Let me give you some practical examples as to what I mean by this. Instead of falling into legalism and saying what I can and can't do, rather look to God and say, Lord, how much can I do for you? Help me walk in obedience with you as much as possible. Because after all, guys, we're in relationship with the God of the universe, who is living water for us. He created us for himself. Therefore, as much as we can pour him into us and pour ourselves out for him, the more we can do that, the better. It's not about just checking boxes. It's about relationship. Yes, there are objective truths in this world that God defines and that God is necessary to, and all those things are contingent upon him. But all that is done and finished. It's going to exist whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. So now that you do know God is real, engage in a personal relationship with him.